everyone, I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, September 25th. We have a great show in store for you today. With just one day until Shell Point travels to Germain Arena for Cirque du Soleil, Verikai, we have a sneak peek of this out-of-this-world show. Resident Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve sits down with Terry Kolath to discuss the class Live Figure Drawing Using Charcoal and Pencils, the latest art class being offered at the Academy. And The Dunes is the site for lunch as Executive Chef David Pashy brings 3 easy, affordable meals to life and shows you how to prepare them for an entire week. But first, the September Singles Supper and Exploring Fort Myers Beach is today. Singles here at Shell Point will enjoy a walk on the beach at Bowditch Point and may even stumble upon a gopher tortoise or crab along the way. You'll then grab dinner at a mystery location for a fun-filled social evening. Pickups for this begin in the afternoon at 3:30 on the island. This trip will cost $7 with dinner on your own. Entrees range from $15 to $30. Head to the Grand Cypress Room tomorrow for some unique finds. Trinkets and Treasures Bazaar brings out some of the best books, jewelry, and handcrafts from your neighbors here at Shell Point. Trinkets and Treasures kicks off tomorrow morning at 9 in the Grand Cypress Room on the island and runs until 3 o'clock. Don't miss the great deals. For more information or to sign up for any of the activities that we've talked about, stop by the Island Service Desk in the Resident Activity Center on the island or call 454-2282 or the Woodland Service Desk at 454-2054. As we mentioned earlier, Cirque du Soleil is just a day away. This amazing show has delighted audiences worldwide, and it'll be right here in Fort Myers at Germain Arena. Here's just a glimpse of the magical world of Verikai. What a sight, and an enlightening experience to be sure. Another visual feast that begins here at Shell Point today is the latest class at the Academy, Live Figure Drawing Using Charcoal and Pencils. This class studies the human form in its various shapes and body postures, both sitting and standing. Instructor Herb Sklar spoke with Terry Kolath from the Academy about the class and what you can expect to learn.
Hello everyone, I'm here with Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve. We're talking about a course Herb is teaching for us in the Fall Academy of Lifelong Learning, Live Figure Drawing.
You know, as you said, teaching, this is one of the classes I think I do the least amount of teaching.
Really?
Yeah, because we have a wonderful model. And she's really fantastic, Kate Sullivan. And the class just gets up there with that charcoal and just have fun and do it. Now, if somebody wants some help, I will, but I don't really teach anatomy at that class. So it's kind of self-learning or at your own pace, but there will be help if you want it. And when we start off with doing these very quick poses, 20 seconds, which is like that, you know, and you'd be surprised what you can do with it. You can get the rhythm of the body, and then we advance to a minute and 5 minutes, and then we start some long poses. And some people don't do the whole figure, they do a portrait. And so it's at any level, you know, if you just want to have fun and learn how to do a figure drawing. This is something that was studied in every art school for years. I know, and going way back, they would spend 6 years learning to draw the figure, you know.
Why is the figure so difficult to draw? Is it really, or do we just think that it is because we can see a person?
No, I think it is difficult to draw, and I think it takes a lot of training because every part is in a different perspective, and proportion plays a part to it, and the rhythm of the body. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I would say outside of Michelangelo, nobody became an expert, you know, but we're all trying and we're all doing it and having a lot of fun at it.
And how nice to be able to actually look at a body when you're trying to draw one. I mean, it's surprising that our arms are as long as our legs or, you know, whatever.
Right.
You know, when we see one and try to draw it, that's extremely helpful.
It is absolutely. It's not like drawing from a photograph where it's very flat, two-dimensional.
Right.
You have a three-dimensional body in front of you, and it's really quite interesting. And I think the charcoal makes it even easier because you can do it very quickly and just have the rhythm of. It's a little bit like going back to kindergarten, you know, playing with the quick strokes and stuff.
But is it something that an artist has to do to learn to free up?
You can,
So
but you could sit there and make it very tight too, you know. But we don't start out that way. The warm-ups are the very quick sketches, and I think that loosens you up, and you keep going from there. It's learning to see. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
You're learning to see, and this will take you into anything else you paint or draw or photograph. You're learning to see.
Interesting. So it's something that would be valuable no matter what you want to paint or draw in the future.
Absolutely, and I feel so arty. I feel dirty and chunky. So it's a lot of fun. Besides.
Now, you've taught this course before. What is surprising to you about this course and how your students react to it?
Well, first of all, everybody seems to really enjoy it. And I think that some of them get shocked about how good they are, which is really very nice.
And learn from each other.
And they do learn we do show each other our drawings, and we do learn from each other. And it really is a wonderful thing.
Good. Thank you so much, Herb. All right, live figure drawing using charcoal and pencils, 5 Tuesdays. There's still room if you'd like to give it a try.
Well, after morning of art class, you'll be ready for a great lunch. And a terrific place just over the Sanibel Causeway might just hit the spot. The Dunes Golf and Tennis Club has some terrific offerings. Executive Chef Dave Pashy recently hosted some Shell Point residents and showed them 3 easy, affordable meals that they can prepare on their own at home.
I know when I was growing up in Niagara Falls, New York, you know, my mother, I was the only child. Quit playing with your food, quit playing with your food. I get to do it for a living now. So we're gonna start with melting your butter first. We're gonna add some mushrooms. Did everyone find that on their sheets? The Cajun cream sauce? Cool. Yep, all the recipes are based on 2 people. We're gonna melt that butter. You add those mushrooms, add the tomatoes. We're just gonna cook that down a little bit. I'm pretty hardcore on the Cajun seasoning. We came up with a nice pink sauce. See? Real good. And as I go by, you're gonna take a really good whiff of that. I don't wanna say it's the healthiest sauce out there. It consists of heavy cream. But you know what? You got a better chance of dying on 41 than you do eating this dish. Just do rounds. And just keeping it moving, or using a spatula. This will stay in the fridge good for a week. No problem there. So you'd add your ground beef And pasta, I chose tortellini, cheese tortellini. Everyone likes tortellini. Just want to add a little bit more heavy cream. Yeah, cream is good. So is butter. Paula Dean was right. I like butter. Yeah, you just can't beat butter. I won't lie to you. Now, you know what? We need more butter. Taste like this is just absolutely wonderful. Really, it's wonderful. I love it.
Now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hi, I'm Jill Aldrink, and I'm here with Bev Chandley. Today is Thursday, September 25th, and it is Rosh Hashanah. We're here to tell you what's happening today. We start the day at 7:15 with the Health Connections Bend, Breathe, and Balance in the Health Club. At 8 o'clock, the Men's Golf Association will be meeting out at the golf course. At 8 o'clock, we have the Round Robin Doubles Tennis at the tennis courts. At 8:30, the Paddlers Club will be meeting out at the kayak storage area. At 9:15, Shuffleboard at the Shuffleboard courts on the island. And at 9:30, Current Events will be meeting in the game room out at the Woodlands. At 9:30 also, the ladies' match play will be happening at the tennis courts. Also at 9:30, Samba, the card game, will be meeting in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 9:45, Introduction to Beginning Line Dancing will be meeting in the Health Club. And Basic Line Dancing will be meeting after that at 10:15. Also at 10:15, the Poetry Group meets in the Tarpon Room on the island. Bev, what's happening this afternoon?
Well, Jill, we're going to start at 12:45. Mahjong will be played in the Library Lounge. Then we'll go to a Health Connections class at 1:30, Aqua Pilates Stretch. That's at the Life Quest Aquatic Center. At 2:45, we have another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2, and that's in the Health Club, currently closed. And we're going to jump to 3:30, where we have a single supper and exploring Fort Myers beach trip heading out. The court pickups begin at the island at 3:30, 3:40 for the Woodlands, and 3:50 for Eagles Preserve residents. Sign up is required. At 4 o'clock, it's time for the weekly seamstress service. That'll be in the Osprey Room. At 4:30, we'll have Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. That'll be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. At 4:30, the indoor bocce will be set up down in the Health Club on the island. We're going to jump to Pinnacle in the Library Lounge at 6:30. And then 7 o'clock, we have the Trailblazers Bible Study gathering in the game room of the Woodlands. We thank you for joining us today, and we'll be back here tomorrow with the weekend edition.
Hello, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy information for Thursday. At 10:15, those who signed up will take Dropbox in the Computer Teaching Center at the island. And at 1:15, we offer Desert Mothers and Fathers in the Social Center of the island for those who have signed up.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is braised beef with mashed potatoes and buttered peas. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $13.95, and the soup of the day is broccoli cheddar bacon. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is an Italian meatball sub with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.25. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church. And as we conclude this series of devotionals on the life quest dimensions, we come finally to the community and social dimension. But please, you'll have to forgive me. I'm a teacher at heart, and as a teacher, I'm compelled to do a little review. You might remember that the overall thesis of this series is that the spiritual dimension interacts with all the other dimensions: the natural environment, the physical, the emotional, the educational, and the community social. And we use the metaphor of an automobile tire to help us understand the relationships. I have likened the visible parts of the automobile tire to the various dimensions of life quest, and the air in the tire to the spiritual dimension. It is the spiritual dimension that enables all the other dimensions of the tire to function properly, and if the air is gone, the tire is quickly destroyed. The spiritual dimension, then, is critical to a fully integrated, functioning human person. You also might remember how I began this series. I began it with Bill Cosby. One of his early stand-up comedy routines was entitled, "Why Is There Air?" His philosophically minded girlfriend would ask questions like that, and he, the phys ed major, would reply, "Well, there's air to blow up volleyballs, to blow up basketballs." But we noticed that air is pervasive, it's all around us, and we easily take it for granted. It's only when we have trouble breathing that we notice the air. And we also made a connection between air and the spiritual. The Hebrew word for spirit is ruach, which means breath or wind, and the Greek word pneuma means the same thing. So the spiritual dimension is pervasive, it's everywhere, and it is essential to our proper functioning as human beings, just as air is in a tire. And we've seen how the spiritual interacts with the natural environment, the physical, the emotional, and the educational. Today we'll consider how the spiritual interacts with the community and social dimension of human beings. We've recognized that from a biblical perspective, the Spirit of God created order out of chaos, and also breathed life into human beings, created them in the image of God. It's important to recognize as well that in the original creation account, God created Adam, the first human, but didn't create Adam to be alone. In fact, the first thing that God said that wasn't good about the creation was that it is not good that the man should be alone. We were then created to be social creatures. In fact, from an historical Christian perspective, our social nature comes to us from God, who is triune, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There is community, or as the young would say today, a social network in the one true God. The Bible teaches that God is one God in three persons, and so the very foundation of social creatures made in His image gives us this social dimension because of who God is Himself. We are not alone and are not meant to be alone. We need each other. We need to know one another. We need to love one another. Certainly the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit know and love one another. Our being made in His image gives us the capacity, indeed the necessity, of knowing and loving other people. And it's interesting that as the Bible speaks about these relationships, this community God intended to create, it does so in spiritual terms. Consider what Paul says to the Ephesian church, for instance. He says, "I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you to walk worthy of the calling with which you were called, with all lowliness and gentleness, with long-suffering, bearing with one another in love." And then he says, "endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace." The way we are to treat each other is beautifully described in that passage: humility, gentleness, long-suffering, patience, and bearing with one another in love. What a wonderful fellowship we have when those qualities characterize our relationships. And then Paul summarizes these qualities in spiritual terms, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. The unity of the Spirit. What a wonderful way to see the Spirit of God at work. The spiritual dimension moving us, motivating us, encouraging us to see one another as made in God's image, worthy of respect, admiration, and especially love. So once again, the spiritual dimension, air in the tire of our community. I trust you've been encouraged by these observations and that you won't take the spiritual dimension for granted, always seeking to be a fully integrated human being living in community where all the life quest dimensions are vibrant with meaning and significance. Thank you for joining us today in Village Church Connections, and we hope to see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we wrap up the week with Professor Adrian Kerr's journey back to China's Ming Dynasty. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, September 25th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.